Hey everybody, I'm Germain Lussier with Slashfilm.com. We're here at Fantastic Fest 1 and just got out of the Human Centipede II full sequence. I'm here with
Ryan Turek, managing editor of Shock Till You Drop.
And Ryan, what did you think of Human Centipede II?
Still a little and I have a pretty hardened stomach from seeing so much stuff over the last like 3 decades. But no, Human Centipede 2 I thought was a frustrating, revolting, very problematic, messy experience. I thought it was just a very kind of fever dream-like, aggressive film for Tom Six to do. That was just like an answer to the fans of the first film and those who either loved it or hated the first film.
Right, yeah. I mean, for the first film, I thought, it's a great concept,
Yeah.
and it didn't really deliver on that concept. And I think basically this movie is a direct reaction to that, where it takes a concept and all it does is deliver on it in disregard, in complete disregard of everything else.
Yes.
Logic or medical anything, and it delivers on the gore you want.
Well, yeah, it gives you what, like that's what I went into the first Human Centipede. I was like, wow, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I needed to psych myself up to see it because I was expecting something in my brain that was like, I'm going to see, like, feces flying around, and it wasn't disgusting. This just delivers in spades. This is exactly what you guys want to see if you want to see that kind of stuff. But like you said, it sacrifices logic. The whole 100% medically inaccurate best sums this up.
Yeah, the first movie is 100% medically accurate, and this one is inaccurate because this guy named Martin, who's a fan of the first film, who decides he's sort of sexually attracted to the first film in a way, and decides he's going to make a real Human Centipede with 12 people.
And mind you, his backstory is that he was raped by his father repeatedly, so that's why he's a little off balance.
We get a little bit of his backstory, but not so much.
The kind of a stereotypical bullshit, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I thought for me, the movie's about an hour and a half. It takes about an hour and 10 minutes to get to where you want to go. Because you have to, in the story, get 12 people in a room naked for like fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough. He kind of reminded me of the way he worked. Remember the doctor in Batman when Jack Nicholson's standing there and the doctor's like, "You see what I have to work with?" And it's like rusty saw and nails and all this stuff. This is what Martin's working with in this nasty, dank warehouse.
And even in that movie, you were like, that couldn't quite work. And here you're like, well, at least in the first movie, he was a surgeon.
Well, here, and in this one, he kind of like tries to go by the rules. He tries to go by his book, which is he's got like a scrapbook, like a teenage girl. That's like this kind of Teen Beat collection of like photos from the Human Centipede premiere, And but he tries to go by the book, but then he just throws all of it out the window and does it his own way.
It's weird. I wrote in my notes, it was like the movie and the character get hasty. Because the movie is very deliberately paced. He's getting these people, then he starts cutting them up, and it's gross and some terribly, block your face stuff. And then cut, and he's got everybody's put together, and you're like, what the F? Where'd you skip there, Tom Six?
And the film also goes into avenues that I don't really particularly care for as entertainment. Like I said, I'm coming from the horror field, and I've seen a lot, and and a lot of fans expect me to accept a lot. But there's certain avenues you just don't go down, and this certainly had that.
It goes over the top. But I think what we heard is there's a lot of controversy about the rating and what's going what, and I think we saw one of the unrated cuts or whatever. So a lot of what we saw might not make it into the theatrical version that you see in 2 theaters across the country, or on demand it'll be on. But
And I also had, in spite of, with all of that stuff that happened and all the stuff that we, dealt with in the movie and watched and experienced, there's a moment at the very end that I was that enrages me because it's such a kind of BS storyteller thing that just kind of, I don't know, I don't want to give it away, but it just really pissed me off. And I was just like, really, that's what you're going to, kind of relegate yourself to?
For me, that's a good microcosm for the whole movie, is that, I wanted to see gross stuff, and I got gross stuff in spades, but I wanted to see gross stuff that sort of fits in the context of even if it's out there of a story, and it just makes zero sense. If you got beat over the head with a crowbar, you could not sit in a room bleeding for 4 days and survive.
No, that's very true.
And that's if you want gore, Human Centipede II delivers.
Yeah. I mean, basically, if you're the guy that walked out of Human Centipede and said, "Boy, that could have been a whole lot worse and nastier," this is going to deliver.
Yeah,
I mean, this is exactly what you want.
It is.
And I do think that Tom Six had a lot to say in this one about, like I said, the kind of Human Centipede zeitgeist that's infiltrated our pop culture. But he just did it in a way that I don't really care for.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that was opening night of Fantastic Fest.
Yeah.
It's only the first day of many. Please keep checking back on slashfilm.com. Ryan, one more year.
I'm over at shocktillyoudrop.com and for all your horror news. So
thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.